Good evening, namaste. So we have with us a guest. He's been a trainee also. He's come from the country of United Arab Emirates. He's an ENT surgeon by profession. He's going to tell us more about his profession back where he works normally. So he came over here through a friend who also had some training with me some years ago to get some fine aspects of rhinoplasty to be able to incorporate that into his practice. So the last, I think 8-9 days was really hectic. We've done a whole lot of surgeries and it's been a very interesting time for me as well, not only to be with him and to teach him, but also to learn in the process. So I would request Dr. Ahmed to say a few words now. And Dr. Ahmed, please tell us.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Ahmed Abdelati. I'm a consultant ENT surgery. I'm practicing now ENT as a consultant and head of department in one of the big hospitals in United Arab Emirates. I am originally from Egypt. I worked since 2001 as ENT surgeon in Egypt before I moved to United Arab Emirates in 2015. I'm here since like 8-9 days with Dr. Sunil, and actually, it is a very, very wonderful experience. I came on a recommendation from multiple friends. One of them recommended Dr. Sunil to train me on rhinoplasty. He is well known and very famous about his different techniques and about the cases, challenging cases he faced. What I heard was like very little for what I faced here actually, because what I saw in 9 days, I didn't see in my whole life in rhinoplasty. The challenges, people come from different areas from India and sometimes from outside India as well. Different problems. They have multiple surgeries to be done on the same day. They come like I didn't see this preparation you are doing for your patients. And the wonderful thing about him, he said one word and I faced it every day. Once he wants something to be done and it is possible to be done, it will be done. Oh. And by God's will, everything is possible, right?
Correct. Yes, that's a good thing.
So,
how was your food and everything? He was a little bit scared about Indian food, so he was having very little Indian food. Yeah, but I think you eventually got kind of adjusted after coming here.
Yeah,
because you told me you had lunch today.
Time. Yeah, after some time, I ate eggs and cheese. Actually, okay. The problem that in my country I used to eat a lot of grilled food, which is very less here. And
correct.
You have to search for it. There is some halal and some Arabic food, but it is not.
And also more vegetarian food, which is obviously not halal and not grilled.
It is halal. All vegetarian is halal.
No, I mean like.
But the problem I don't eat it.
Okay.
So, but food after a few days you will be adjusted.
Yes, I'm glad you could adjust to that part well. And also he took this long journey. He flew over from my other hospital in Bangalore to this hospital in Tamil Nadu, so he could get a taste of two different worlds that we're managing. Yeah. So I'm glad you really enjoyed the experience. So like I said, this is a beginning of a long relationship. So we hope to be in touch. We can do many things together. And yes, you're welcome to come back.
I'm planning to come many times as long as you are welcoming me. How do you manage to do like different operation at the same time, like double jaw, cleft palate, then rhinoplasty, all in the same city? And,
so I think that's a very good question, and I think that's one of the things we are probably known for, in the sense we're able to combine multiple different specialty works in one go. So basically that benefits the patient a great deal. Like you've seen so many of our patients, I would do a bijaw and then we would do a rhinoplasty, or we're doing a speech surgery for a cleft palate patient followed with the bone grafting and rhinoplasty. So I think the logic is to try and minimize the downtime for patients, because India is still not as ahead as in UAE probably, but there are a lot of Indians now who don't have time. Time is a big problem here for people. You tell them, oh, one surgery and then 10 days, come again after 6 months, another 10 days. They're like, no, doc, it's too much. So this is what prompted me to slowly start this. And also my training was originally in craniofacial surgery. And then I did a lot of facial plastic surgery. And then I did cleft. So it's been a mix of my training, which helped me to make tailor-made programs for our patients. And that, like you saw so many patients traveling thousands of kilometers. So they're able to make this like a pilgrimage. Some of them tell me it's like that, doc. We want to come for our facial pilgrimage. We want to come to you. We want to get everything done in one go. We don't want to keep coming back again and again.
I saw 2 or 3 patients coming on the same day, all the way, like 3,000 kilometers.
Yes.
One is coming 1,000 kilometers, fasting and ready to do the surgery on the same day.
Yes, many of them come prepared because my team educates them. We let them know through video consultations. And thanks to technology, we're able to see, patients are also able to see our videos, which we put educative videos. So some of us ask so many doubts about anesthesia, we direct them to go watch it. So our time is saved, yes, but more importantly, they're able to really understand the process. So they feel comfortable.
Yes.
When they come, they're like, oh, we've seen you, we've gone through all of this, so we're ready. Like you would have seen this boy that we did today.
Yes.
He came in from Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy that we did today,
Yes.
the one that we just come operating from.
Yes.
And he was like scheduled for tomorrow. But Dr. Ahmed had to catch his flight at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
So I just requested his father. So he's like, no, ask my son.
Yeah.
He's a man now. So I asked this boy. He's like, doc, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I've
he
come
was
all the
very
way.
happy.
Do it today now. I'm ready.
And one of the most interesting things, although all these challenges, actually your hospital is like keeping all the standards I meet mostly in UAE. Like
Thank you.
Everything really.
But we still have to improve.
From
because
no, the other things that that you see needs to be improved is not because of something you are not doing or your team. All the nurses here doing very maximum job. You are doing very excellent work from the journey of the patient once he comes until he goes, until discharge summary, discharge medication of the patient, everything is done.
Thanks. I'm glad you
I enjoyed
appreciate
it
that
very
as well.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I wish you safe travels. You have any more questions for me? You asked me one. If you have any more, I'm more than happy to answer.
I think one is enough.
Enough? Awesome. So you take care, have a safe journey. And yes, Dr. Ahmed is also very good with gadgets. He's very good with a lot of AI. And I'm poor, like really bad. So he's got this Gilmo, what's that? Gamble. He's got this really cool gimbal. So he doesn't need a guy to actually record videos like how we do. We have a team of video people who come and record. So he's got this gimbal and he's like, just make gestures. It was good, doc. I'm going to go and try more about that as well.
Just an AI-assisted gimbal to follow you when you go, or
yes.
two are sitting in the same conversation. You can just point A to
yes.
point B and it can move.
Yeah, so I did learn a lot of practical purposes of using gadgets to make probably our quality of video better. And also maybe it's going to be easier too, because we could use it in the operating room, like you said, show the gestures, keep operating, it keeps following you.
Yes.
It's incredible. I'm going to try it very soon.
Inshallah.
And I'll keep you posted with what happens.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.